This will be my first video with the GoPro, whatever this one is, the Max, yeah. And we're working on a GTI 90 or GTI, maybe a GTI 130. This is 2020. It's, I believe it's the 90. It has the same impeller as the Sea-Doo Spark. Here I've already put the ski in IBR override, so in order to do that, what you want to do is plug in the key, lanyard, just hit the start-stop button. You want to hold the reverse down. You see IBR override pops up. You hit the mode button, and then you hit the up or trip button, and that puts or moves the bucket to the up position. You take it off and you're all done. So now your bucket is going to be up, and you can remove the arm. And as you can see here, I'm in the process of removing the arm, and that is a 1/2 inch on the American side. Let me see how I can pause this. I'm actually just going to do a full video of it. Push this back some. I'll stop it. So once the arm is free, as you can see there, from the bucket will then move out the way, and we'll get started on the next process, which I'm going to remove the control nozzle steering arm. So I went into my safe and I pulled out the sacred 10mm socket. That's what you're gonna need. I put a shorty extension, or what I call a shorty extension, on here, and go ahead and get this taken off. One thing I like about the 2020 model is I really appreciate how Sea-Doo made this connection. In the past there was a nut at the bottom, and now it's actually incorporated into the nozzle itself. I can appreciate that. It makes it a tad bit easier to get, to keep track of all of the nuts and bolts that you remove, and it just makes more sense for it to be casted there. Good move, Sea-Doo, good move. So what I've done now is I've removed the nozzle for the jet pump. It was on here as such. There were 3 bolts, one at the top and one on each side, that go into the cast aluminum. That removes that. Now I'm going to go for the pump. I'm going to see if I can pull the pump out without taking the bucket off. So I used my 1/2 inch socket to remove the jet pump nozzle bolts, and I used the 1/2 inch to remove the jet pump itself. It will not clear the bucket, so I am going to remove the bucket. So the bolts for the bucket went here. The bolts for the nozzle went here. We had one here, we had one at the top. It's actually more here, and then on the other side is duplicated. So now I can go ahead and take the nozzle out itself. I'm sorry, the jet pump out itself. So we have the jet pump here. I'll go ahead and retrieve my 2 bottom washers and line them up. So here I have my 4 nuts and my 4 washers for the pump. And the bolts for the nozzle and bracket are the same size as the bucket. This 4th bolt goes at the top here, so that's why you see 4, 2 on the sides, 1 in the center. And then we have the bolt that we removed for the steering bracket, and I left the bolt for the bucket in there. It's typically how I like to do it. So I'll inspect the drive shaft to make sure it's not stripped, And then we'll go ahead and take a look at the jet pump itself. Holy shit. So this one actually is not that bad. I'll let the customer know that his blade is okay, but he just had a can stuck inside. So it grooved the weir ring pretty bad, but where it grooved it at, it's not where it actually compresses the water. So if this was my pump, I would just take the can out and put it in ride, but let's see what we can do here. So the impeller is in good shape, but I couldn't get a hold of the customer, so I'm just gonna go ahead and give them a new impeller. The customer bought their parts and said that's what they wanted done, so that's what we'll do.